This is Carl at National RV Detroit, and I'm going to walk you through this 2022 No Boundaries, No-Bow travel trailer. And the model number is NB 19.6. Okay, so I'm just going to show you some of the features and how they work, okay? So, as we're here we are at the door side rear. You have regular crank down stabilizers. Takes a crank or a 3/4 inch socket. Okay. This is a spray port. It comes with a coiled sprayer that you can plug right into here to hose things down. You have a power awning with an LED strip. Your stairs, of course, fold into the trailer. Dual axles. Okay. This right here is your range hood vent. So there's a vent over the range. So if you're going to turn on the fan to vent to the outside, you always want to remember that you want to do this so this baffle here flaps freely when you're venting to the outside. Otherwise you can just keep it shut. But if you're venting to the outside, you want that flapping freely. Okay, this is just power here. This is your water heater right here. And let me see if I can get this open with one hand. There we go. So this works on both gas and electric. The thing to remember, right now it's empty because this is winterized, right? So you can see the drain plug is out of the water heater right here. Let me get that tape out of there. And this is the drain plug itself right here. It's got an anode rod attached to it. And it takes an 1/16" socket, a 6-point socket to remove that. Now there's a switch right here, a rocker switch, on and off. This rocker switch controls the electric heating element that's behind this cover here. So keep in mind that you can turn it, the heating element, the electric heating element, on and off right here. Never run the water heater without water in it. Like I said, right now it's empty because it's winterized. It's also bypassed. But before you use it in the spring, you want to make sure you put the plug in, you flush the antifreeze out, put the bypass valves, which are on the back of the water heater, into camping mode, and fill it with water before you turn it on, okay? This also runs on gas. There's a gas burner also. Okay? Alright, so let me walk over to my bench here and see if I got my flashlight in case I need it, okay? This is your hitch right here. It's a Husky centerline weight distribution hitch with built-in sway control. We're going to show you how that operates when you pick up. Behind it is the griddle. So it has a griddle along with a hose. You can see the hose on the top, the LP hose. So that griddle just hangs right on this rail right here. Right? And then you connect the hose to the griddle and then to this quick connect fitting down here. That's how you get your LP from the system to the griddle. Okay? Alright. Moving on. Deep cycle marine battery. LP tank. Full. You have a power tongue jack with a hitch light on. You can see right there. And up and down. So you have a power tongue jack. Also, let me look on this side here to make sure I'm with you here. Okay, so right here you see this crank right here. If the power tongue jack ever fails, you can pull this plug out of the top here, put the crank on there, and crank it manually to raise and lower it off the hitch. So you can always get yourself out of trouble that way. You also get the other hitch, which is in fact regular 3/4 inch. That's for the stabilizers. Like I said, you can also use a drill with a socket. That's your dump hose. This is your coiled thing here. This is a reducer to reduce your 30 amp down to a 20, and there's your cap for your dump valves. Okay. Okay. This is the kill switch for your battery. You can shut the battery off just by turning that to the off position. So if you ever want to just shut it off, you just go to the off position. Now there's two ways to get water to the trailer. The most common way is through the city water hookup. You're just going to hook the hose on there, and turn on the water, and you're all set. Now, if you're camping someplace that doesn't have city water, like you're boondocking, or you're just out in a place that doesn't have plumbing, you can pre-fill your fresh water tank, and then use the onboard pump to pump the water. So either way, you can use all the plumbing, even if you don't have city water. So, alrighty, under here, that's a fresh water drain. Okay, now your slide room here, you can see this is it's got 2 gear tracks on each side, so this is a Schwintek style slide out. There are different types. This one's referred to as a Schwintek. Okay, these are your dump valves here. Let's see if I can get down here. Okay, so here are your valves. You got your gray on the left and your black on the right. Gray is sink and shower water, of course. Right is toilet water and waste. Now, if you want to flush the black tank, you could hook your hose right here to the at the dump station. Hook your hose, freshwater hose, right here. Open the valve. Make sure the black valve is open. That's important. And then turn on the water, and it'll spray out the inside of your black tank, clean off the sensors, that sort of thing. So it's a good thing to do. If you have a working hose at the dump station, then it's a good thing to do. Okay. This is your power cord, your shore cord. It's 30 amp and 30 feet long, plus we give it a reducer with it, like I said, so you can plug it in at home if you need to. This is just cables and satellite through. Pre-wired for a backup camera. If you want to get one, it takes a Furion camera that fits in that housing. You also get a ladder with it. That means you can inspect your roof very easily. The manufacturer says every 60 days you should inspect the roof. So you want to go up there, look at all the sealant, make sure there's no cracking or separation where water can get in, make sure that there's been no damage to any of the roof attachments or the roofing material by low branches or by road debris flying up there, things like that. So make sure you inspect it on a regular basis. If you see any issues, take care of it. Okay. All right, so if you go in, this is your furnace on the left here. Now, the thermostat is right here. It's very simple. You just hit the mode bar to light it up, and then you cycle through. You go from furnace to fan. Fan is just the air conditioner running without the compressor. And then, of course, you have air conditioning, high and low, auto, that sort of thing. If they give you an option for fan speed, always choose auto. All right. In here is a strong box. Now, you do get a Bluetooth speaker in here, I believe. Let me look to make sure. Everything's keyed alike, so. There we go. Yeah. So you get a Bluetooth speaker with it. Hopefully you can see that in there, but there it is. Okay. I'll hang your keys right back on the sink here. Okay. This is your range hood. I told you about the range hood, the light, and then the fan. If you're going to run the fan and you want to vent to the outside, always open that baffle on the outside vent there. This is your range top. You just light it with a lighter. Yep. Okay. Your microwave, which is a convection microwave. Below it is your vacuum. Now, where they have you see the footprint here is telling you can sweep the dirt right up to it there, and it'll suck the dirt right out to the floor. Now you can get attachments for it. This does not come with the attachments, but you can go online or whatever you need to do and go to this brand, and you can get an attachment set if you want to use it. Okay, you have drawers here that go out. Now, this trailer has an inverter, which inverts to 12 volt DC to 110 AC, and it also has a converter, which converts AC to DC power, so it goes from 110 AC to 12 volt DC. That's right here. Okay, so right when you're plugged in, you got AC power coming in, and here's your distribution panel right here like you see at home. and you have regular circuit breakers like you see at home, plus they're labeled, okay? And then on this side you got 12 volt DC, and they're labeled. These are just fuses, so this converts AC to DC power. Also, it's a battery tender, so it'll sense how much energy your battery needs and has, and as long as you're plugged into shore power, it'll keep your battery charged. It'll if you're topped off, it'll just trickle a couple amps to maintain it. If you're low, it'll send 10 amps or whatever it needs. Of course, when you're pulling down the road, your tow vehicle's alternator will charge the battery. Okay. This device here is your carbon monoxide LP gas detector. It should always be green. If not, you want to get it serviced. It detects carbon monoxide or LP gas. If it goes off, take everybody outside, leave the door open, shut the gas off, figure out what's going on. And if it beeps very slowly, the same pitch but very slowly, it's telling you your battery's low. So it also is a low battery alarm. If you ever want to test it, there's a button right there to push. Okay, so as we come over here, this also has an inverter. The inverter is, I don't know if we can see it from here. Let me just turn on my flashlight and look here. It's over on the side there, but the inverter is over in that corner. This is the controller for your inverter. Remember I told you inverter takes 12 volt DC and inverts it to 110 AC, right? You can't invert enough power with just one battery on here anyway to run the air conditioner or the microwave, but you can run these receptacles. So if you've got appliances like a hair dryer or any small AC appliance, you can invert the power from the battery if you don't have any, if you're not plugged in. Let's say you're out in the middle of nowhere. So to turn it on, you just hold it. You may have heard it click over there. That's just saying it's turned on. And then you can tell that you got 13.5 volts and 12 volt. You're putting out, or I'm 13.5 DC volts. It says DC status. And you got 110 AC. So it's pretty self-explanatory. To shut it off, remember, just hold it for just a few seconds. And then take your finger off. I didn't hold it long enough, so it's still on. So let me do it again. All right, let me get in a better position here. I can do it here. All right. There it goes. Okay, so you got to hold it to shut it off. And you can hear it clicking over there too, because the inverter, this is just the controller, the inverter is actually over there. Okay. Your TV is a Connects TV, so it has other functions. So it has a remote, which is right here. It's on a swing out bracket. It just makes you strap it in place when you're traveling. And that little light right here, I don't know if I can get over to show you, but this little light there, that little green light, if you can see it, there's a button next to it. That's the pilot light for the digital signal booster for the antenna. So when it's on, that means it's working. If you shut it off, for example, you won't get a good picture. You'll just get snow and it'll lock up and that sort of thing, digital noise. So you always want it on when you're using the antenna. The light on the top is telling us that the TV's using 12 volts, because that's why I was started to say this is a 12 volt TV. So, okay. You also get an adapter. Well, I better not say that because I'm not sure if you do or not. But there is an adapter you can get anyway to run it on AC. But this one here is a 12 volt DC. So this table collapses. This is your dining table. You're just going to push this yellow switch there to the right, and then it collapses at the hinges. So you can stow it away when you're traveling. This couch here jackknifes. So you can pull it up and it'll jackknife flat to use as a bed. You also have a little storage behind it. Your bed here is a Murphy bed. So let me see if I can do this one hand here to show you how it works. Let me see if I can get back there. Make sense of it for you, because I'm up very close, but that's just the camera I have to work with today. So you can see it locked into place there. It's up out of the way. Right now this couch is a jackknife just like that one. So let's see if I can do this one hand here. You go like this. And then you have a couch. It's a great thing because you reclaim the sleeping space during the day. You got a nice place to sit. 2 couches in a small trailer like this is a great thing. It's very uncommon, but I tell you, on those rainy weekends where you have to spend some time in here, it's a great thing. You have bar stools, and they're hitched up here with this strap. That just keeps them from bouncing around, so they don't break something, like break a window or damage something when you're bouncing down the road. These are part of your rack on the top. You have you have rails on the top, and you can strap things to it, a kayak or whatever you got. Okay. The refrigerator is 12-volt DC refrigerator, so it runs on 12-volt DC. Okay. This does have a solar panel, so let's come in here. Okay. So this is your solar controller right here. I'm having a terrible glare here. I hope you can see this, but right now it says that you got 13.7 volts in your battery, telling you the same thing that the inverter panel tells you, but this is for the solar panel. So this top button is the one you pay attention to here. You can push through it. Right now we're gaining 0.0 amps from the solar panel, but we're inside right now, right? Outside it's going to be 7.0 or 3.2. It depends on how cloudy it is and the time of day and that sort of thing. But that tells you your gain from your solar panels. Then the next one is amp hours, right? And then back to 13.7 volts. So when you're outside, the other things will be registering. Now if this ever just flashes, it's telling you that there's no room left in the battery. So it's not storing any power. But as soon as you let the battery go down a bit, it'll come back up just like this with a 13 point whatever, and so you'll be able to understand it. The thing is, this one has one battery on the front. Keep in mind, the more batteries you use, the more storage you have to invert power. So you can always add more batteries, and better batteries if you want. I mean, like gel batteries or even lithium, whatever you want to do. These are your tank heaters here. All your holding tanks have heating pads so you can extend your season. This is your water control panel here. So to light your water heater on gas, remember I showed you in the lower left hand corner outside there's a switch for the electric heating element? Well, this one here is for the gas burner. That's the fault light there, okay? To turn your water pump on, that's for pumping water out of the fresh water tank. It's also used to winterize the trailer, to dry antifreeze through the trailer. And then you have your batteries charged, fresh water's empty, black water's empty, gray water's empty. As it fills, it goes up in 1/3 increments, they'll light up. Once you get past 2/3, you're going to start thinking about dumping the gray in the black tank, of course. This thing is just telling us it's got a shower miser, which is another eco device. This is it over here. So this is a water recirculator. Normally when you're heating up water to take a shower, it just goes down the drain while it's heating up, right? This actually goes up like this. Okay. What this does is recirculates the water between here and the water heater. So it just goes in a loop. So when you go like in this position, which turns it on, and you turn on the hot water, it'll just circle around. It will not come out of the shower head. And it heats up. Once it heats up, this blue plastic will turn a beige color. You'll be able to see it plain as day. When it does that, it's telling you the water's hot. Then you'll put it down into regular operating mode, and it works just like any other shower. It just, when you're camping in places with drought conditions and stuff, it's not good to waste the water. So this is just a way that you won't waste water while you're heating it up. Also, when water goes down the drain, it's stored in your gray tank, so you're also saving space in your gray tank. So it's a water recirculator. This is a shower mouser. Like I said, you can always go online and look at their manufacturer's videos if you need to. But that's what that does. So keep in mind that allows you to heat up the water without sending any down the drain. Alright, so let me see. You got a really good fan in here. It's 4-speed. And this is the lid right here to open and close it. It's great because it's a fan, period. It'll pull heat out also. and let's say it's you got a bunch of people over and it's a cool damp night where you tend to get condensation from your breath. Well, if that's the case, you can turn this on low, and it'll suck all that right out, so you will have no issues with it. So and when it's on low, you can barely hear it moving, but when it's on high, it'll just about pull your hair straight up. It's very powerful. So you've got 4 speeds. Alrighty. Let me see what else we've got, if I forgot anything here. This is your smoke detector. The battery's in there. I just checked it a little while ago. You have lights here. This is a GFCI plug right here. All the plugs in the trailer are wired through a GFCI. This one right here. So keep in mind that even the plug up here, it doesn't look like a GFCI, but it's still wired through that one. So they're all protected. Also, when it comes to the inverter, these plugs are inverted, so you can, like right here, you could plug an AC appliance into it if you didn't have any electricity and run it off the battery. Okay. Alrighty, let me look around. I think I've covered it. That's your emergency window. Alright. Okay, so I want to thank you for purchasing this trailer here from National RV Detroit. Please remember what I said about inspecting the roof every 60 days. That's very important. Generally speaking, people who own trailers don't inspect the roof enough. You always want to stay ahead of things. So just make sure there's no damage to it or any cracking or separation, any issues that could cause water to get through or that sort of thing. You're gonna inspect it. Odds are you'll inspect it for years. You won't have to do anything. But that's the idea. You inspect it just in case something happens. You'll be on top of it. Okay. Second of all, right now this is winterized, so keep in mind that let me walk over here. Keep in mind that there's antifreeze in the system. The water's been purged out. The water heater is bypassed and it's empty. This is something I forgot here. Your lights are here, and then your slide room in and out is here. Back out. Okay. And then the other one is your power awning, which is right here. You can see that. Never leave the awning out unattended. It can get damaged very quickly by the wind, so if you're not at the campsite, you roll it in. These are ambient light here, and more here. See it going on and off. Okay, that's what I forgot to tell you. So, okay, so like I said, it's winterized and it's set for the winter. Make sure when you use it, you flush all the antifreeze out in the spring. You change the bypass valves on the back of the water heater, and then of course you put the plug in and fill it up before you use it. Okay. And so that's basically it. Everything that can run on 12 volts DC in here does, including the refrigerator, like I said, the TV. Some things have to be AC power, like an air conditioner or a microwave. And you do have the option of inverting power from your 12 volt battery to your receptacles, your AC receptacles, okay? So, okay, well, when you pick up, we'll answer any more questions that you have. It will show you how the hitch works, and we'll go from there, okay? Thank you.